Good morning, everyone. Good morning. This is Antonio Muñiz. Welcome to another magnificent Monday. Today, I want to talk about communication and how everything communicates. And I mean, everything communicates. You know, as a leader, you set the culture for your organization. You know, that culture is going to reflect what your organization is going to be, right? What it's going to be about. Now, for the culture to become real, you must first define it, then communicate it effectively, then train on it or train to it, right? And the fourth step is that leadership, i.e. you as the leader, must be and be the role model for that culture. As a role model, you're communicating through your behavior, actions, and just about everything else you do and say. Now, beyond using words, you communicate through actions added to your posture, how you treat others, the words that you use, your social media presence, your professional reputation, your personal reputation, how you treat others outside of work, kind of thing, your likes and dislikes. In other words, everything communicates. Everything communicates. Now, for example, if you're a health and fitness expert, but you're 30 pounds overweight or 30 pounds underweight, what are you communicating to your audience, your customers, and your target market? Are these things congruent? You know, you may be the most knowledgeable person when it comes to nutrition, exercise, and fitness, but your message and your appearance are not congruent. They're not coming together in a unified message. You know, it's well documented that Walt Disney when he was walking through the grounds at Disney World, or Disneyland, he would always, if he saw a piece of paper, he would bend over, pick it up, put it in a trash bin. You know, he was keenly aware that everyone was watching him all the time, right? He was the embodiment of the culture. And he was aware that everything communicates. So if he did not model the behavior that he wanted in his organization, in others, right? The culture that he was creating as an organization was not going to develop. You know, he would be given permission for other cast members just to walk past the piece of paper or the paper cup and basically be communicating that everything's okay. You don't need to worry about it. I know I'm telling you to keep the place clean for our guests, but I don't do it. You know, so that was not the right message for Walt. He knew right away that everyone was watching and he needed to model their behavior. You know, how do you communicate this behavior in your culture? How do you communicate this organizational culture is what I should have said. I'm not referring about the words that you use or the words that come out of your mouth. Everything communicates. Now, if you tell your customers or your team members that they are important, but yet, well, they're important and you appreciate them, but yet you have a meeting with a client or you have a meeting with a team member and you're 10 minutes late to the meeting. You know, what does that say about your commitment? What does that say about the culture? Do you really believe that they're number one? Do you really appreciate your team members? Do you really appreciate your customers? You know, your behavior has to be congruent with your words. They're really important. Now, if you claim, another example is if you claim that your organization is customer-centric. Customer-centric means that everything you do as an organization begins and ends with your customer. But yet your front office staff or your front office receptionist is not very friendly, is never smiling, is not dressed properly for your organization, and won't even say good morning or greet the clients or visitors when they come in. Do you really care about your customers if you allow this behavior to happen, if you're not modeling that behavior? You know, or another example is if your website, you know, if you talk about, oh, customers number one, we're all about customer service, etc. What if your website has one line about, you know, how we love customers, how we love our customers, but the other 9 pages of your website are filled with self-serving content? How great we are, how nobody beats us in the marketplace, and look at all the awards that we received. Is that really about your client? Is that really about are you really being customer-centric? You know? Or do you have a social media presence and when someone with a client or a prospect connects to you through social media and it takes you 8 days to get back to them, are you really customer centric? You know, those are things that you got to think about because everything communicates. Everything communicates. So everyone is watching you. Everybody's watching your organization. Everyone's watching how you treat others and what you communicate. So are you being congruent between your behaviors and your words? You know, always remember that everything communicates, and in today's digital world, communication is instant and permanent in many cases. So pay attention to it. I know this is a pretty thick topic to discuss in less than 5 minutes, but have a fantastic week. Remember that everything communicates, and I always encourage you to do más and be más. Take care.